Hi, my name is Alex Tuttle, and welcome to episode 1 of I Don't Know the Name of This Show. So for my first video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to paint really beautiful signs for use on facades or anywhere you may see fit in your haunted house. I'm not exactly 100% sure how to explain to you what I'm talking about, so I'm just going to show a picture here real quick of the kind of work we're going to be doing today. What you're going to need is your canvas. When I say canvas, I mean your plywood, your poster board, whatever this is going to be on. Start with that. Then you're going to need a computer with a printer and printer paper with fresh ink. You also need painter's tape, you know, that blue stuff. You're going to need an X-Acto knife. You're going to need the paint colors that you want to, do the base coat in, do the letters in. Along with the paint, you're going to want a paintbrush, obviously, and you're also probably going to want to pick up a can of clear coat spray paint. It'll give a really nice glossy finish, and it'll also protect it from the elements if you're doing an outdoor haunt, especially. Okay, so you're going to want to pick your canvas, so to say. I picked a really thin piece of wood that was laying around, and it was very small, but it's a quick project, so it's okay. I picked my side, that one had a sticker on it, so I picked the other one and grabbed my color. I ended up grabbing a white ceiling paint, which works great for what I was doing, and mixed it up a little bit. It's been a while since I opened it. Popped it open to make sure it was the same color. Yep, same color, white. And grabbed the paintbrush, clean paintbrush. Just went to work. I laid it on as thick as I could. It's a good idea for your base coat. And basically you're just going to, after this, you're just going to let it dry. Grab a fan, something, prop it up. And it was late, so I just let it sit there overnight, and I came back to it the next day. So I grabbed my tape measure after that, once it was dry, and I measured the size that I want my letters to be. It's a small piece, so I picked 5 inches. It's good. Went to my laptop and I opened up Microsoft Word. You could use any program that you have. They'll all have the same thing. So I turned my screen, my display, into a landscape instead of vertical. I used the rulers on the side of the page to mark my 5-inch point so I can tell, how big I really need to make the font size for printing. I did a test size, and the space above and below the letters was a little big, so I made the font a little bigger, and it was a little bit below 5 inches, but that's alright for what we're doing. So just pay attention to the rulers on the side and it'll print exactly how you see it. I went up, I think the size was 300, if I remember right, and I did, I tested out a little bit, and I came up with ARH, which is the Amity Road Horror, where I work. And yeah, so you're either, I don't think you should do black, change it to like a light gray. If you're doing this for your first time, it could be a little easier. Or you could do a white fill and just do a black outline, which saves a lot of ink. So I would highly recommend that, and you're just going to be cutting on the line anyways. So that makes a lot more sense. Yep, thin black outline, and that's no ink at all. I ended up doing ARH HQ, which is our headquarters. I'm actually making a sign for our operations structure. So you print them out and you lay them down on the board. You can kind of get a good idea of what it's going to look like. So now you just take a ruler or something flat, make sure it's all lined up, use the painter's tape, and tape the 2 pages together. Just use the blue painter's tape, and you're just going to start cutting on the line. Make sure you save those suspended pieces, like in A's and capital R's and O's and Q's or whatever. You're going to need those. Do not throw those out. But you can just start cutting. Make sure you take your time with this. You don't want to mess up. That would really be a pain in the ass. Very cool. Okay, so I cut the top and bottom off of my stencil as close as I could get to the tops of the letters, to the edges of the letters, because the board I'm doing this on is not very tall, and I need a surface to be able to tape onto the wood. So as close as I could get to the letters as I can is good, and you'll see here. So basically I'm going to tape my tape measure and measure twice, paint once. Actually, you know what? Measure 30 times, paint once. I'm going to center it here. And it looked pretty centered to me. So now I'm just going to eyeball the height because it's small enough, and I'm just going to tape it down. You'll see I need tape to go on the paper and I need tape to go on the wood. And if I didn't cut the tops and bottoms off of the stencil, I wouldn't have had a surface to tape to. I would have had to fold the paper underneath. But you need to keep these. These are important, and here's why. You're going to make those little tape O's, just like you used to do when you were making a poster in school, and you're going to stick them to the back and put them in their proper place, because they are still part of the stencil. The other pieces you could throw out, just keep the suspended parts. Just like that. And be careful with that. Make sure it's correctly done, not upside down. And this is what you should have. It's a stencil. Yay! Alright, so now I grabbed the red paint. This is my blood mixture I decided to use. And you're going to pop that baby open. And you are going to start with the stencil. Now you're going to want to start painting from the stencil out. Why? Well, let's make an analogy. You know how if you're in a cave underneath a waterfall, the water doesn't come in the cave because it's going from above you out? Well, that's the same thing. If you start from the stencil and move out towards the lettering, the paint won't go underneath the stencil as much. That was a weird analogy, I know, but it works. So don't go towards the stencil, because then it'll flick underneath and you'll get the red paint or whatever color you're using under it. So now I'm just slicing here because I want to show you what it looks like with the stencil gone. And I moved the light. So basically you're going to see some imperfections. Don't freak out. It's never going to be perfect. You'll see here it's never perfect. And so yeah, you just pretty much just finish everything up, do the best job you can, and if you get a little underneath the stencil, don't freak out. And this is it. This is what it looks like. It looks beautiful when it's done, but you're not done. You're going to notice the imperfections over and over, and you're going to freak out about it. But you know what you got to do? Just let what you have dry, stand back and look at it, and you'll be satisfied. Now what you're going to do is take the base coat color, and touch up what you messed up after it dries. And you know, just be real careful with that so you don't go on to the letters, and then it's just a chase, touching up red, touching up white, touching up red, touching up white. Now you're going to take a sander once that's dry, and you're going to lightly sand it. This is going to basically give it a real rustic look, an old look. And that's usually what people are going for when they make these signs. Voila. Looks a lot better when you fix the imperfections, but nothing's perfect. So now, I didn't talk about this earlier because everyone has their own way of distressing. So I'm just showing you guys how I do it. Maybe another video I'll do some distressing stuff, but you never know. We'll see. So this is how I do it. I just fog the edges a little bit. I do that a lot. I like to look. And that's just how I do it. You got to step back every once in a while. And voila, the final product. Well, kind of final actually, because you got to remember, clear coat spray paint after you do any distressing you want to do. And you give it a good light coat for your first coat if you're doing multiple, and you just go from the top down to the bottom, back and forth, and then a quick haze over the top to cover any spots that you missed. Alright everyone, well thanks for watching. I hope this helped at least a little bit. I really, hope that I can continue to grow my relationship with the haunt community by doing these videos and branching out a little bit, meeting the rest of you. When I say the rest of you, I mean all like 90,000 of you, or however many there are. But check out my Instagram page. I'm on Instagram, Alex's, ALEXS_huge_chainsaw. How weird is that? Just, check it out, follow, whatever. I just post a whole bunch of stuff on there. You're going to be seeing vlogs on this channel a lot as build season starts. We are in Connecticut, so the snow, kind of stops everything for a while. So as soon as it melts, you'll be seeing some vlogs, and here and there I'll be doing some tutorials. And you never know what other kind of special event may come up that we get on camera. So subscribe for that, and I hope to see and talk to everyone soon. Have a good one.